Hey everybody, today I'm going to be showing you the new form creator we've just put into Everlight CMS. As you can see here, I've already logged in and I'm under my Manage Pages area of the website. Now, right now the link is located under Pages and it's called Form Creator. So what we're going to do today is we're going to create a basic contact form for most web pages and just kind of give you an example of how everything works. So we'll go ahead and click the Form Creator. And as you can see, we've loaded the second window. It's going to open a new window, so it's easy to switch back and forth. And as well, there's a lot of options in here, and it keeps it all kind of contained in one area. The first thing you're going to do is create your first form. So we just create a new form. And once that loads, you can see here that we have all kinds of options here to the right, and you can pretty much modify anything we want to. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to name this form. I'm going to call it Contact Us. And this is where you can put your little description, and I'll say fill out the form below to contact us. Now we also have some options in our form here. We can turn on password protection if you wanted only certain people to be able to do this. You can turn on a spam protection, which gives you a CAPTCHA form. If you were doing kind of a form that you'd only want one answer per person, you could limit one entry per user based on their IP address. And then we have this option here that we can show review page before submitting. I'm going to go ahead and click this because it's kind of a nice feature. And then once the form has been submitted, we can set our success message. So I'm going to change this to your submission has been, we'll say received instead of saved. I spelled that wrong. Now once we have these properties in, we're going to go ahead and start adding some fields. So for a basic contact form, the first thing I'm going to need is a first and last name. So we click that, it's already ready to go. We can go ahead and say enter your name. And right in here we can you can see here you have different options within each label, so you can kind of go for the full name, or you can just do a normal name, which we're going to stick to. You can also determine whether this is a required field. Now we do want their name, so that's going to be required. And the guidelines for the user towards every field, you can kind of give them some notes. So we'll say here, simply enter your name. Now that we have that, we'll click add another field. So now we're going to collect their email address. So we click email. Everything looks good there. This is required. The default value will say, we'll leave that where it is. Guidelines for users. Enter your email address. Now you actually don't have to fill out these guidelines. It's kind of an option. So, and then we can also, once again, you kind of play around with the field size and everything. So we're going to add that field. And now we're going to want a paragraph text so they can write us a message. So we'll say we'll just call it message. And then down here we'll say enter your message. And we're going to make this required as well, and we're going to change the size down to small just a little bit. We'll go ahead and click that. Now the next thing that maybe we'll add onto this would be a drop down. We kind of want to know how they heard about us. So we click this and we'll say, how did you hear about us? Then what we can do is we actually have our choices right here. Now everything is very, very simple in this thing. So we'll do two choices. We'll say Google, and we'll say website. Just leave it simple. We'll kind of just leave that there, and I'm just going to go with a medium. Add this field. Now, another cool thing that we can actually do is if you want to, you can add a section break in here, and then you can kind of you can delete that and just kind of have it as a space, or kind of title it however you want, make it a header, do that kind of stuff. Now once you're actually in here and you decide you might remove something around, these are actually all clickable. So you can actually click this guy and just drag it right up there and kind of rearrange the form, however you want. Now once you're actually done here, which we pretty much set up the form, if we look at form properties already been here, we've set up how we want everything to work. And it looks like we're pretty much good to go. So we're going to click Save Form. And now you can see we're back on the home page here. And now this is the area where all of our forms will be listed and we can tweak each form. Now, these areas right here, edit form obviously will bring us right back in that we can edit the form. Once our form's on our website, when you edit it here, it'll also change it on the website as well. The next thing we really need to be worried about is notifications. Right now, nobody's getting a notification. So if you click under emails, and we'll give that a second to load. First off, we personally want to get a notification, so I'm going to go ahead and say contact@CalHumanCreations.com. I'll go ahead and save those changes. And then what we can do is, based on what the user provides, we can actually send them a notification as well. So since we did add an email field, and it recognizes that, we'll go ahead and click email. That way, a user will also get a confirmation that you have received whatever the form is that they've submitted. So now that we have our notifications set, we'll go back to Manage Forms. And the next thing I'm gonna kind of show you is the Quick View Form. Now, if you click View Form, this is one of the options that you can use. This is actually a standalone version of your form, and if you just take this URL right here, you can kind of link to it anywhere. If you just want an easy to use, just plain form to collect information, this is kind of the way to go. Now, the second option for the form is actually embed code. If you click this, the first option that pops up here, you're just going to copy and paste this. So we'll do a copy, and then we'll come over here into Everlight CMS, and I've actually already set up a page called a test form. So we'll go ahead and click on that. And right here within the content area, we're going to go ahead and click this little HTML source. Now that code we just copied, we're going to paste it right into there. We're going to click Update. And as you can see, it's going to go ahead, it's going to put our form right into here. Now that we have that done, we're going to go ahead and click Save and Continue Edit. Now we'll go to our page on the front page, and we'll refresh that page and see how it looks. And as you can see, we have our simple form here. When you hover over a field, it's going to give you the tooltips. When you click into an area, it's going to show that you're kind of working in that area. The red denotes that it's a required field, and all your options work. Now, if you remember, we said to go ahead and we wanted to review before we submit. So if I go ahead and type this out, and I'll type in this email address. I say hello. Now when I click continue, right here is review our entry to make sure everything is correct and our information is good to go. So everything's good, so I'm going to click submit. And there's a success message that we actually already set up. Now if we actually go back over into our form builder, not only are we going to get an email with this information, but all forms are actually, there's a database information is collected into. So under each form, if you click entries, you're going to see that here's all the information that we just collected from the form. You can export it to Excel or a CSV file for your personal reference as well later. That's pretty much everything you need to know about managing and creating forms. If you have any questions, just shoot us an email.